With millions of people tuned in to the annual Juno Awards, one of Canada's biggest nights in music, our cameras took a look back at the 40-year-old music fest and the role faith has played.
It's a star-studded birthday party and the entire country is invited. It's not just any birthday. The Juno Awards is 40. It's a big night for these 5 artists too. Article 1, Greg Zabel,
I won't stop until I've got it.
Manifest, New World Sun,
I am a working man.
and Starfield
The saving one.
are all nominated for the Contemporary Christian Gospel Album of the Year award. And they're hoping to leave with one of these.
We were on tour in New Zealand when we received, I think, a Facebook message. Somebody had posted on our wall, hey, congratulations on the Juno nomination, and that was the first we had heard about it.
I was at home, and I was in the morning, and I got a call from my mom, and she was like, the Juno nominations were announced, and you're one of them.
When I found out, I got an email or whatever, and I was just like, yeah, woo!
Contemporary Christian Gospel Album of the Year.
This year, when it comes to music with a message, there's something for everyone. From worship music
Jesus is the Christ.
to hip-hop
My life is so curious, I saw the pictures cameo.
to the blues.
I am a special agent of the Lamb.
The category has never been so diverse.
It's kind of like a fusion of rap and rock. A lot of people compare us to kind of like a Linkin Park kind of stuff, because there's a little bit of rapping in there, but, you know, heavy guitars, you know, hard drums, bass.
It is a smorgasbord of sounds. It's pop generally, but it's got a lot of soul injected into it, and it's got a lot of R&B and some rock influences.
And while the free food and swag bags are a perk, winning a Juno or just being nominated has other benefits at home and on the world stage. Street cred.
In the matter of hours, a small community in northern Alberta made headlines nationwide. A forest fire destroyed 1/3 of their community, and suddenly 7,000 people who call Slave Lake home needed help. Our cameras were there just days after.
The town of Slave Lake is beginning to rebuild after a devastating forest fire. On May 15th, winds swept nearby forest fires in northern Alberta through Slave Lake in a matter of hours. No one was hurt, but more than 430 homes were destroyed.
I've got a house to go back to, but a house without loved ones around you feels empty.
The streets of this small Alberta town are now eerily silent and empty. Slave Lake's 7,000 residents were forced to evacuate on the afternoon of May 15th. Nancy was attending a baptism service when she got the news.
I just said to him, like, Bert, I says, if it comes down to an evacuation, I said, my heart is not to pack our vehicle with things, but my heart is to pack our vehicle with people.
It will take some time before Slave Lake can even begin to rebuild. 1/3 of the town has been destroyed, as well as more than 430 homes. Still, what does remain is a sense of community spirit. Hundreds of volunteer firefighters came to fight the blaze. Donations poured in from surrounding communities. Nearby towns, businesses, and churches opened their doors to thousands without a home. Pastor Ron Oppmeer got up in the middle of the night to help.
And so people that evening around midnight started to come here to prepare rooms, to have bedding available. The few mattresses and beds that we had would eventually, with Red Cross cots, house about 30 that evening. Many were in shock. They left with just the shirt on their back.
By midweek, the Athabasca Reformed congregation housed 84 people in this former senior center. The congregation didn't even have a building to call their own until a few months ago when they bought this center, and it turned out to be a chance to give back.
This year, the Ontario Court of Appeal heard arguments against a controversial ruling made last year by Ontario Judge Susan Himmel. Decriminalizing prostitution is a decision that could affect the whole country and the way sex is sold in Canada.
Though prostitution is a reality we don't often like to see, technically, it's not illegal.
The simple act of prostitution is not illegal in Canada. However, things that are ancillary to prostitution, such as running a bawdy house, living off the avails, and street solicitation, those things are illegal.
At least that was the case. In September, Ontario Superior Court Justice Susan Himmel effectively decriminalized adult prostitution in Canada by striking down 3 provisions in the Criminal Code.
The existing laws as we know them were introduced in 1985, but prostitution laws go back to the 1880s when they were introduced in the Criminal Code. They've changed forming over the decades, but they've been there mostly to protect vulnerable women and children.
Several interveners, as well as the Ontario and federal governments, will present arguments before the Ontario Court of Appeal. They'll ask for a reversal of Justice Himmel's decision. In the meantime, the laws stay the same. But given what's at stake, there's a chance the case will wind its way up to the Supreme Court. Ultimately, the nation's highest court may have the final say on how we sell sex in Canada.
On Canada Day, a 54-year-old man showed all of us that grandpas can, breaking the Guinness World Record by riding from Vancouver to Halifax in 13 days. It was a group of kids on the other side of the world that moved Arvid Loewen into action. For the past number of years, Arvid has become an ambassador to an organization that is no stranger to viewers of 100 Huntley Street. The Mully Children's Family Foundation, the largest children's rescue, rehabilitation, and development organization in Africa, it gives thousands of street kids a place to call home. We met Arvid at the Mountain Equipment Co-op in Burlington, Ontario.
I mean, I've always had a heart for children, but specifically about Mully Children's Family, it's their ability to work towards self-sustainability. They're not there just to say, give us money and we will just redistribute that. It is a complete package of raising a family, first rescuing them, giving them health care, giving them the education, and then equipping them with life skills.
Moved literally into action, Arvid hopes his 13-day trek across the country will bring even more awareness to the great work Charles Mully is doing.
Some call me crazy, others call me determined.
And at 54 years old, he is urging other grandparents like himself to get involved, dubbing this the Grandpa's Can Ride.
I invite you to join Charles Mully and me to bring hope to thousands of abandoned children.
Proving you are never too old to make a difference in a child's life.
Since I was blessed with 3 grandsons, each one of our children had their firstborn was a son, I came up with the idea that I should do an event built around the concept that grandpas can also still do a whole lot more than just, and I have nothing against people going on a vacation or hitting a golf ball on a golf course, but there is so much more than we can do than just simply love our grandkids, support our children, raising them in God's way. We can do so much more. But I don't need to be a Guinness World Record holder to feel that I've done what I can do. I've learned over time with disappointments, and I've had many disappointments on a bike. I learned that it's okay to dream big, do the best you can in preparation in all aspects, and then just simply sit back and allow God to take it to whatever level He wants.